So I know this is saying part one, but this is actually the homework for the other one. I forgot to put it on the last video. We're on part two, and really this is just more examples. So in like the homework and stuff, uh, the calculator is going to kind of give you a good chunk of the answers. And honestly, you could probably look at the graph and notice, oh, there's a bounce there, so negative 2's got to count twice. That's not how I want you to show your work. So if they give you all but one, this is kind of similar to the other one we did where this was, okay, this one, I remember what I did. I went out of order. I mean, these orders, the order you do this does not matter, to be honest. I did want to point out that there is a 0 here. And if you do, honestly, the one actually worked without the 0, but it's not amazing. You would end up seeing something happened, something went wrong, because if you do synthetic with negative 2 and this 0 is not here, you do not get 0 as a remainder. Well, that's because you went from 4 to 2, and we're missing x to the third. That's why this is here. Again, go back to the synthetic division videos and look at the ones where we have, if we skip a exponent, then we have to account for it down here. But we used negative 2 first, got a remainder of 0. Then we used 1, got a remainder of 0. Then we used 3 and got a remainder of 0. And what was left was x and positive 2. So x plus 2 equals 0. That's how I got a negative 2. So you proving basically, hey, these three answers work, and this is for sure the last one, because I know that the graph will show you, oh, there's a bounce there at negative 2, and then, 1 and 3 being your answers. And that's not how you're going to end up showing work on the homework. Here's another example where the graph will, and slash the table, will give us these. And again, when you go to the table, you plug this in, go to the table and look for y equals 0. And next to these three x values, y equals 0. So we just got to figure out the last two. Well, use negative 4 with synthetic division with your remainder, sorry, that's a bad word, because remainder 0 with the polynomial, because if you remember, this just kind of turns back into a polynomial. With that one, you then do synthetic division with your next answer, kind of leaving out this remainder column. And then you do it again with your next answer and leave out this remainder column. And we're here. And actually, there's a couple different ways of doing this. If you do not have a middle term, I still did quadratic formula. Please don't absolutely hate me. When some of my students watch this again, the discriminant was negative 8. My b value is 0. That doesn't go here. So I'm trying to do plus or minus square root of negative 8 over 2. The negative became I. The 8 then became, when we factored out, 2 square root of 2. That 2 and that 2 cancel out. But I don't mess with this, because if you go back a little bit, the inside of the square root sign, at the very end of the last video, the 3 that was in there did not get touched. It would be if there was like a 2 out here or something. So ended up being I square root 2. But please don't hate me, because honestly, let's use like a orange color. We could have set this equal to 0, subtracted the 2 to the other side, square root both sides, and get x equals plus or minus square root of negative 2. So the I comes out and the 2 stays inside, which is what we got. And I know it was so much faster, but if that value is not 0, you got to be in the practice of doing the quadratic formula. I did not do this in class, so if you're watching this video, you got a little bit bonus that could go a little bit faster. If you're ever missing this, really just move it over, square root both sides, and simplify what's there. You get to skip all of this. So quick recap: if you see x to the third, and you like when you're stuck, if x to the third is the highest one you see, then there's probably an answer that repeats. Go try and find it. If you're stuck on x squared, you're looking at quadratic formula. If you're down to the last one, well, it's a one-step equation, and it's pretty much good to go. So hopefully these videos helped. I'm so sorry that they're a couple days late. I know I said I'd get them up earlier, but life, right? All right. See you guys later.